Hello guys, my name is Jack and welcome to my new video series, A Beginner's Guide to the Australian Power Sector. Now the purpose of this series is to provide you guys with the fundamental knowledge of how the power sector works. Essentially going from generation, where power is generated, in old times being with things like the coal-fired generation, but now these days more with natural gas power generation, all the way through to consumers, which is you and I who consume power either at our homes or workplaces, etc. Now my ultimate goal for this series is essentially you guys to take away a fundamental knowledge of both how the power system operates and how different infrastructure interacts to enable power to flow from generation to consumers. Now this video series will entail 6 key videos. Now the first video will be a power systems overview. Now, this video is essentially going to look at the key market operators and regulators that enable this whole power system to work, but also the infrastructure all the way across Australia. So we're going to be getting a very broad look at things. The second video is going to detail all the generation involved. Now we're going to be taking 2 frames with this video. The first frame is more of the traditional means of power system generation, where we look at different coal-fired and gas-fired power plants. But the transition into today's game, where we're looking at more a renewable focus as climate change comes into effect, and a lot of stuff being developed these days has that renewable generation focus. So we'll be looking at that in both frames. Now the third video is going to look at power transmission, essentially taking the power from those generators and transmitting it across long distances. Now in this video we're going to be looking at the different stakeholders, the regulations they're going to have to look by, and a lot of the different infrastructure they look at state by state. Now the fourth video is going to look at distribution. Now the distribution network takes the electricity from the transmission network and distributes it to the consumers essentially. So we're going to be looking at the infrastructure they use to do that, how they operate, and also the key stakeholders state by state. The fifth video is going to be looking at retailers, essentially how power is sold to the consumers, being me and you as residential consumers or other industrial people on different markets. So we're going to be looking at the different market and price structures that the retailers use, as well as the predominant and primary retailers throughout Australia. And the sixth and final video is going to go over the consumers. Now, there's generally 2 different types of consumers, being residential and industrial, but we're going to do a deep dive into both. Also go over how things such as solar influence us as consumers, because I'm sure you guys are very well aware of people these days who've got solar and batteries on their own residential premises, paying 0 or getting power credits. So that'll be an interesting topic for that video. Now upon the conclusion of this video series, I want you guys to focus on 2 key takeaways. Takeaway number 1 is that I want you guys to have the context to be comfortable talking to people like your parents, or even people in industry, at conferences and things like that, all about the power sector. This video series will give you the basis of every single aspect of the power sector. Going from generation to consumer, you know the entire life cycle. So I really want you to focus on that kind of bread and butter understanding of what goes on. And takeaway number 2, I really want you guys to be able to determine if you have a personal interest in the sector. Like with the energy transition coming up, there's truly no better time to get involved in the power sector. So I feel like being able to assess your level of interest, you'll be able to say, yep, I love the power sector, great, it's an amazing opportunity at the moment. I think you'll do amazing if you keep going into it. Or no, this isn't for you, that's completely fine. At least you can check that off your list of majors and then look into the next one. But I feel like being able to determine that early on is absolutely awesome. So yeah, I'm very excited to be making this series for you guys. I wish this was available for me when I was going through uni, but I really aim to provide some value here. If you're keen for it, let me know what video you're most excited for down in the comments. But yeah, keen to get into the first video. I'll see you there. Thank you so much for watching that video. If you enjoyed it and want to see a similar video on the channel, click right here to see the next video in the playlist. Otherwise, for the latest upload to the channel, click right here. As always, it's a great day to have a great day, so you better enjoy yours. I'll see you all in the next video.